I guess like what's kind of your heart on that? Because like dude, I like addiction is one thing I've had to battle with, and I hate it, man. Like it's tough,
Hmm.
you know. And so I don't know, was something on your heart, or you felt like something, or
Honestly, man, I think the biggest thing about the whole getting over masturbation and pornography is that while there is like the addiction, the root of the addiction is a heart issue. I think there's a certain point where we've moved past addiction and it's just strictly discipline based, you know? And it's like, am I giving yeses to the enemy? Am I giving yeses to this desire?
mm,
Like, what, like, basically, am I allowing myself to flirt with this temptation? You know? Like, am I
wow,
giving myself a couple looks on Instagram? Am I allowing myself to look up something? Am I, like, looking at this girl a little too long? Like, am I giving myself yeses and, like, seeing if I can toe the line and get as much as I can out of it before, like, okay, I need to stop now, you know? Or do I have like an absolute iron grip on my sexuality and I set my own standards, right? Because like people say, oh, like even at the gym yesterday, I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's like, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you can't look at a girl, you know, and like see that she's like really pretty and stuff, or that she's got like a nice butt or like nice like a nice chest or something like. I was like, well, I agree with that. It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that it's wrong, and I think in some cases that it's like that it's good, like within the context of marriage and stuff. And I think when you're dating somebody, it's important to recognize their beauty. But the difference is that like I know myself, and that I know that I can if I want to meet the standards of God, which is to not commit adultery in my mind. I know that if I do look at somebody, that yes is enough for me to later on like allow myself to think about it more and sexualize it more. And so for me not to get there, I need to not look at all. And so my standard for myself in this moment is not looking at all, you know? And I'm sure that'll change in the future.
yeah,
But my standard needs to be like I need to set my standard in accordance with who I am as a person. And that doesn't mean I assert
yeah,
that standard on other people and say, "Oh, if you're not doing this how I'm doing this, you're wrong" or something. But I know that for myself, I need to give myself more space, and that I need to like for me to be able to control this coming off like having recently being freed from the addiction, I need to have an absolute iron grip on my sexuality and keep tension on that leash as much as possible, you know?
yeah,
Because I know like I'm a very sexual person because I'm a very emotional person. And so like it's kind of like when you're handling a big dog. If you give the leash any like slack, whenever it sees something it likes, it's gonna yank
yeah,
you. You know, it's
exactly,
the slack is gonna like it's gonna lose slack. He will over like the dog will have already taken a few steps and gained momentum, and it's gonna jerk you when the line goes taut. You know, so you got to
yeah,
keep that line taut when you're like going on a walk and stuff. You know, so that when the dog sees something it likes and it runs towards it, you already have tension on it. And you can pull back on it. You know.
yeah,
And I know that I need that kind of grip on my sexuality right now, and that's another reason why I would like when I go into deployment, especially, I'm not going to go to bars. Like I'm trying to avoid women as much as possible because there is no clean drinking water on deployment, you know. And so, like frankly, I want to avoid being horny as much as I possibly can. And so the only way I can do that is just by not being around women because I know my sexuality and I know what I like and I know that I like women. So I just
yeah,
need to avoid women when there is no like avenue for my sexuality. And that's harder to do here because there are things I like doing like pickleball and other like sports and activities and games that do have these like sexualized women in that. But that's where the discipline of where my eyes go comes in, you know, just to not look cuz like it's not a sin to look. But if you know you'll sin if you look, then don't look.
yeah.